Hola, soy Nacho Vigalondo y creo que ahora mismo me están escuchando desde Madrid, Córdoba, Sevilla, Zaragoza, Mallorca, Toledo, Ávila, Burgos, León, Palencia, Salamanca, Valladolid, Barcelona, Valencia, Badajoz, Coruña, Murcia, Pamplona, Donosti, Bilbao, Vitoria. Esto es impresionante. Me están entrando delirios megalomaníacos ahora mismo, pero tengo que controlarme. Habéis visto Triángulo de Tristeza, Triangle of Sadness, y tenemos el increíble honor y la suerte de poder charlar un poquito con Ruben Ostlund. Hi, Ruben. How you doing?
I'm very good. I'm very good. Nice to be here. Nice to have this Q&A. Nice to finally release the film in Spain. I have been really looking forward. I mean, I have a little house in Mallorca, in a small village called Campos in Spain. So I feel connected to Spain more and more. So yeah.
You had never been as connected to Spain as in this right moment, where like 1/3 of the country is kind of listening to you.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Zacarías, you want to translate, or maybe we just
okay. Bueno, Nacho, bueno, la saludaba a Ruben, que está conectado desde Los Ángeles en su campaña de los Oscar. Y bueno, está muy contento que por fin la película se estrene en España y ha comentado cómo él conoce el país porque tiene una casa en el pueblo de Campos, en Mallorca, así que siente una conexión especial. Y Nacho le ha dicho que, bueno, siendo modesto, le ha dicho que 1/3 del país está viéndole ahora mismo.
So, me as a filmmaker, you're one of the directors that I look up to when I make films. I feel forced to ask you these questions as a colleague. How tired are you of talking about this film up to this point?
No, but I am actually not that tired. I almost look at a little bit talking about the film as a part of being a film director today, and talking about the content of a film is something that is connected with that you have something that you want to communicate. I mean, the film in itself is there because you want to raise questions around certain topics, and then doing interviews and talking about it and meeting the audience is very important to me. So I'm not tired at all. I try to find a new angle on the questions, and I enjoy doing this, you know.
Bueno, le ha preguntado Nacho, él como director también le preguntaba a Ruben que si estaba ya muy cansado de hablar tanto de la película, y Ruben le ha dicho que bueno, que no tanto, en realidad que es parte de la labor como director y que cuando quieres contar una historia como es su caso, estás conectado con lo que cuentas y quieres estar conectado con su audiencia y poder hablar con ellos, así que no está cansado y que siempre busca un ángulo nuevo para poder responder a las preguntas.
Something going on here, like tomorrow they are going to release Titanic again on Spanish screens. So like in a week when the Triangle of Sadness is released, Spanish people will have the chance to do this double feature experience, like Titanic and Triangle of Sadness back to back. And it's an interesting, I think it's an interesting experience because both movies share, I think both movies have the same message, which is don't take boats. But you can see like some clearly parallels between the two of them.
Well, when you say that, I think about like in Titanic also they discuss quite much about the class system and the hierarchies that are on the ship. One thing that I didn't like about Titanic, you know what that was?
Just tell me.
You know, they always describe. It's a typical American thing, I think, that they describe the working class as nice and genuine and the sweet people, and they know the true values of life. And the rich people are the mean ones that don't, that are egoistic and don't know the true values of life. This is for me a very, like, how to say, it's almost justifying the class system to do it like that.
Yeah.
Because you have very nice rich people, they just don't like to pay tax. That's the biggest problem. And then you have actually poor people. That is, you have all different fragments of people in all different parts of society. So yeah,
two different mindsets, as if they came from different planets. Yeah. So Zacarías.
Sí, le decía Nacho a Rubén, le preguntaba porque bueno, que estos días, en esta semana, va a coincidir el estreno en España de su película con el reestreno de Titanic en 3D, y que al final, que son dos películas que tienen un paralelismo claro, o por lo menos Nacho decía que el mensaje común podía ser el no cojas un barco, ¿no? Y Rubén a eso ha contestado que bueno, que sí, que ambas hablan de las diferentes clases sociales, pero sí que ha dicho que hay una cosa que no le gustó en Titanic, que es que muestra las clases sociales como que la clase trabajadora son muy buenos y muy guays y los ricos son muy malos, y que esa me parece una forma que no es como le gustaría describir a las dos clases sociales, de forma casi que justifica que existan esas diferencias, y Rubén termina diciendo que al final que el único problema que él tiene con los ricos es que no pagan impuestos.
Since both films have the same aspect ratio, you could make a super cut. Like you can cut a movie that could be called like Titanic of Sadness, something like that, and you can combine all the cast in the same film. So Titanic has Triangle of Sadness have more people dying, and in Titanic more people are puking. So both movies get the benefit.
Sounds like a horrible idea.
I'm pretty sure a lot of people would love to see it.
Nacho, le estás sugiriendo una idea a Ruben, diciendo que ya que las dos películas, que quizás se podían compaginar ambas en un supermontaje en el que pudiéramos ver una versión que Nacho llamaba Titanic de tristeza, en el que, bueno, que en realidad en Titanic hay más gente muriendo y en el Triángulo de Tristeza hay más gente vomitando, pero que en realidad podía funcionar muy bien. Y no parece que a Ruben le ha parecido una gran idea.
It's the worst idea ever.
If you want to do it, feel free.
I would love to. I have free time for this. I have. So,
pero le da permiso a Nacho para que pueda hacerlo si él quiere.
So among the many things amazing that are happening around this film is obviously the Oscars that are kind of around the corner. And the company that distributes the movie in US is the same as Parasite, and Parasite is clearly like the precedent of this kind of a shocking situation. The thing is, if you get the big Oscar with this film, it will be way more subversive than what happened with Parasite, because the language of your movie has nothing to do with what we understand as an Oscar film. Do you feel the pressure of like?
No, I don't. I don't feel any pressure at all. You know, first of all, I think it's fantastic that it's been nominated. I'm happy that the Academy wants to help me to promote this socialistic content, and to have this political discussion where you also in many ways are like trying to criticize a certain kind of neoliberalistic way of looking at us. And so, and it's just a great opportunity to get more exposure of the film. Yeah,
it would be amazing. It would be amazing if you win.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah.
Bueno, le preguntaba Nacho a Ruben, que ahora lógicamente a las puertas de la campaña de los Oscar o de los Oscar que van a suceder en breve, que hay un referente claro o un paralelismo claro con la película Parásitos, que estuvo nominada recientemente, pero Nacho le decía que en realidad sería como si consigue ganar alguno de los Oscar, tendría como más mérito, sería más subversivo, en el sentido que es un lenguaje que se aleja mucho de lo que estamos acostumbrados en Hollywood. Y a ver si él sentía alguna presión por ello. Rubén nos ha dicho que no, que en realidad no tiene esa presión, que está feliz de estar nominado y que al final está contento de poder tener esta discusión y poder estar hablando sobre esta crítica al neoliberalismo, y que al final es una gran oportunidad para que la película se vea en más sitios y tenga más espectadores.
There's so many people wishing for you to win the Oscar that I think you should feel the pressure. Like we would love if you feel the pressure.
You know what the worst part with Oscar, you know what it is, because I mean I was nominated with the Square also. It is that afterwards you have to deal with when you don't win. You have to deal with
Yeah.
everybody coming
Yeah,
up.
that's the real pressure.
Sorry,
That's the
you
real
didn't
pressure.
win.
Failure,
You should have won.
failure.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Nos
talking
queda-
about, okay,
Perdón, Nacho,
Let's
sí,
go
nos
on,
decía
yeah.
Ruben ahora que,
Sorry.
bueno, que al final, en realidad, lo peor de los Oscar es el momento después, que si no ganas, que es que tienes que lidiar con ese momento en el que todo el mundo se acerca a ti como a darte el pésame y tienes que aguantar el tipo.
So this is the second, with this movie you have won your second Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival, and you're winning these awards with comedies, and comedies are kind of the doom forbidden genre in this kind of places. So it feels like getting this kind of awards is kind of an extension of your themes in your films, because in your movies the pathetic and the ridicule invades spaces that are supposed to be serious and high class. So how do you feel about this meta extension of your films into real life?
I think that if you look back in the 80s and 70s and 60s, there were quite many films that had a little bit of the similar wild approach that I am inspired of. If you look at Buñuel or so like The Discreet Charm of the Bourgeoisie, it's a complete wild, crazy movie that is a comedy, and he won also in Cannes. So I think that what have happened lately is that European art house cinema have become something that is a little bit, how to say, posing that you're dealing with important questions.
Yeah.
So I wanted to break with that tradition. I wanted to do a film that was dealing with something that I thought was important, at the same time that I was wild and entertaining. And where I had the cinema in mind when I was making the movie, that I wanted to do a film that the audience will participate when they go to the movie, and they will enjoy to watch it together. So I think that also what have been appreciated in Cannes, that the screenings have been like a little bit louder. People are giving expression for what they feel.
Le ha preguntado Nacho a Ruben que él que ha ganado en Cannes 2 veces, y de hecho con 2 comedias bastante locas, y que en realidad, siendo la comedia un género que suele ser maldito de cara a los premios, que es gracioso como sus películas, que a veces que es como que parece una extensión, es un poco una extensión de sus películas, donde el ridículo y el caos invaden espacios más serios y elegantes. Y bueno, Ruben contaba que como películas con las que creció en los 60, 70, 80 tenían un poco ese acercamiento. Ha mencionado a Buñuel y El discreto encanto de la burguesía, que de hecho ganó en el Festival de Cannes, y que antes que lo que no le gusta es cuando el cine europeo trata de abordar temas serios, pero haciéndose demasiado importante, y que lo que le gusta es que eso se pueda combinar con una parte más divertida en la que el público participe, y que es lo que él quiere en realidad últimamente.
Because I'm from Spain, and we are Spanish guys. We're chauvinist. And now my next question was going to be about Spanish filmmakers, and I was going to mention Buñuel and the discreet charm of the bourgeoisie. So you ruined the whole thing because you're really proof like you're a big fan, I guess.
Yes, of course. I mean, I'm also a big fan of Almodóvar, but I mean, Buñuel in many ways. When I started the film school, then my mentors, the one that was my teacher at the film school, they told me all the stories about Buñuel.
Oh my God, so many of them.
I don't know if you have heard stories about when Buñuel were on this Christmas party in LA with Chaplin, and he and his friends were crashing the Christmas party. And when Buñuel came to the Oscars and they asked him, so what are your expectations of being Oscar nominated? And he said he created a scandal by saying, yeah, I know that I'm going to win the prize because my producers have bought it, etc. He was fun because I feel that he didn't play along with the roles that are within this industry. He played with the role, but he was doing unexpected things to provoke thoughts. And the same thing I always felt with his movies, like Viridiana is a fantastic movie because the bums, the homeless people that is invited, they are not acting how they are expected to do. They are not like grateful that they are invited. He's like bringing up these social questions and doing it in a way that is connected with Brecht and a certain kind of tradition where you force the audience to reflect on what you are looking at. So he's really a great inspiration.
Sí, le ha preguntado, bueno, que él decía Nacho que le había pisado un poco su siguiente pregunta porque le iba a preguntar por Buñuel y su posible influencia, y Ruben nos hablaba de cómo sí, que hay, bueno, hay cineastas españoles que le gustan, ha mencionado, bueno, Almodóvar, pero que desde luego que Buñuel es básico para él, y que ya cuando estaba en la escuela de cine sus profesores y mentores le hablaban y contaba una historia que dice, no sé si sabéis, por ejemplo, de cómo cuando Buñuel estuvo en Hollywood, hubo unas navidades que en una fiesta con Chaplin se dedicaron a destrozar la fiesta, y que luego después, cuando estuvo en la gala de los Oscar y le preguntaban a ver qué expectativas tenía, que él de una manera, bueno, pues provocadora decía, ya sé que voy a ganar porque mis productores han comprado este Oscar, así que sé que va a ser mío. Y decía Rubén como, pues, que, bueno, que le gusta esa forma en la que Buñuel jugaba, digamos, con sus propias reglas dentro de la industria. Ha mencionado también a Viridiana y cómo le gustaba esa manera de retratar a los pobres y desamparados, los sin techos, y lo ha conectado de alguna manera con Bertolt Brecht.
I did actually, when I was starting the Triangle of Sadness project, I have a friend that have a fashion brand, and he asked me, do you want to do a clothing line? And I did a clothing line that was called Discreet Bourgeoisie.
Discreet Bourgeoisie.
Yeah, as a how to say, tribute to Buñuel. And Discreet Bourgeoisie, the description of the clothes was, with these kind of clothes, you can hide in the herd in a middle class and an upper middle class academic group of people. So it's yeah.
Sí, nos cuenta Rubén como que cuando empezó con el proyecto de Triángulo de Tristeza, a través de un amigo, estuvieron pensando en hacer una línea de ropa, una línea de moda que él iba a llamar Discreto Encanto. Y que un poco la idea detrás de esta línea de ropa era que con estas prendas serías capaz de esconderte en medio de un rebaño de la clase media.
Great. So from the outside, as an audience, many feel, me included, that you are successfully opening for bigger and wilder comedies. It's like you're trying to invade the space of mainstream comedy using this particular language and this particular route. Are we correct about this? Are you getting bigger and wilder?
I think I do the movies that I want to see myself. And I had a friend that was flying from Venice Film Festival to Toronto Film Festival. And he was on that flight. The whole film industry is basically going between those two festivals. They are back on back. So when he was on this flight, he was looking at the screens. What are our industry looking at? Yeah. And he found out we are not looking at our own films. The European art house industry are not looking at our own films. We are looking at Adam Sandler. And and I think that isn't that strange that we don't produce movies that we actually want to look at ourselves. So I have been going into the movies in a way that I wanted to be free from the expectations of like what a European director is doing. Actually just go for what I feel that I'm interested in myself.
I remember when they made the remake of Force Majeure with Will Ferrell and Louis Dreyfus, the actress. That was the first time that I thought maybe the director of the original film would love to make a movie with these actors, with these American comedians. I got that feeling. I don't know if I was right.
No, I when they asked me if they were allowed to do Force Majeure or Downhill, that it's called in
Downhill,
the American version, and I heard about the cast, I thought it was great. I was just like, okay, I'm very, very curious to see what these two actors are going to do with this film. And I really wanted them to take it into their kind of comedy and go much further in that direction and not being respectful to the original or anything like that. But, you know, it's something with movie making that I also think it's fun if there is a risk connected to watching a movie. And there are some actors that is so connected with a genre or like traditional American comedies, so it becomes not so risky. And and it is fun if the audience go into the cinema and might be surprised in some way, and that is probably something that maybe these actors wouldn't dare to do.
Yeah, I get it. The style of filmmaking can be aggressive for them. Okay, so ahora tenemos que pasar. We need to just listen and attend to some of the questions from the audience, I think. So, okay, let's go. Preguntas del público.
Sí, brevemente lo que ha contestado Ruben en las últimas...
Ay, perdón, sí, claro.
Sí, no pasa nada.
Zacarías,
sí,
perdón.
Nada. Que le ha preguntado Nacho sobre que lógicamente el tipo de comedias que estaba haciendo y hasta dónde se podía llevar o hasta qué límite se podía llevar el tipo de comedias locas que ha hecho últimamente, y en realidad Ruben nos ha dicho que él lo que quiere es hacer películas que le gustaría a él ver. Contaba una anécdota como volviendo en un vuelo de Venecia a Toronto, de un festival a otro, donde ahí estaba toda la industria europea, que al final se reían de que terminaban viendo películas de Adam Sandler, ¿no? Y era como un poco patético en el sentido de, joder, ¿por qué no hacemos pelis que nos gustaría ver a nosotros también? Y luego Nacho le ha preguntado también sobre el remake que se hizo de Fuerza Mayor, de cómo lo vio él, y Ruben nos decía que que era interesante el ver a otros actores interpretando esos papeles, que no le importa porque no piensa que tienen que ser como el original, es una reinterpretación, que es divertido verles, pero que es verdad que hay muchas veces que los actores, sobre todo los actores americanos, están un poco como atados a ciertos papeles, que parece que si eres un actor de comedia siempre vas a tener que ser actor de comedia, y que le gustaría poder salirse de ese patrón. Y con esto sí que, a ver, las preguntas que voy a traducirle a Ruben, las preguntas que están llegando de cines. Vale, empezamos. A ver, Suri Negrín desde Yelmo en Madrid. Este cine está lleno de modernos y snobs que me han recordado a los personajes de películas como The Square. ¿Por qué crees que tanta gente a la que dejas en evidencia luego quiere ver tus películas? Okay, Ruben, here's a question from the audience to you, and there's someone in Madrid asking that he or she feels that there's a lot of snob and high-class people in the cinema, and why do you think that people that you make fun of would like to come to see your films?
I think that I don't consider myself very different from the snobs, even if I'm coming from a middle-class family in Sweden, or it's raised by a single raising mom. I think that I want to confront myself. I want to confront raise questions about my own life and who I am. And don't you enjoy to being pushed into a corner and being like provoked? I mean, that's the reason of art. I mean, I would never go. It would be strange for me if I would think that I make fun of a class that I'm not connected to myself.
Nos dice Rubén que en realidad él no se siente tan diferente de esos personajes tan snobs, que él viene de una clase media y que al final quiere hablar de temas que también tratan sobre él, y que en su vida que a él le gusta que le empujen y le hagan preguntas incómodas sobre ese tema, y se hace la pregunta al público, ¿no os gusta a vosotros también que sea así? Otra pregunta, Daniel desde Cervantes de Zaragoza. En varias de tus películas hay una escena central. Podríamos pensar que en la del hombre del mono en The Square o en la de los vómitos del Triángulo de Tristeza, que queda casi como un icono en el film. ¿Es algo que piensas antes de empezar a filmar o surge de manera natural? Okay, Ruben. Daniel is asking, in your films, it seems that there's like a central scene. He's mentioning the monkey scene in The Square, or this vomiting wreckage scene in Triangle of Sadness, that seem to be like iconic in the film. Is this something that you plan ahead, or is this something that just happens?
No, I planned it ahead. And I would like to tell you about my next film and the centerpiece in the next film, because it's going to be an anti-climax scene. The next film is called The Entertainment System is Down, and it takes place on a long-haul flight. So you can think of a flight that is maybe 17, 20 hours long. And when the passengers are, when they're getting up in the air and the seatbelt signs are turned off, so the people are just thinking about putting on the entertainment, they get the horrible news that the entertainment system is not working. So we have modern human beings that all of a sudden are locked into this aircraft for quite a long time. And when iPads and iPhones are charging out, they don't have the digital distraction. And I have a scene that this time is going to be the most provocative scene I've done, I think. And it is that to confront the audience with boredom. You have a kid that wants an iPad of his big brother. So, and he's like, when do I get the iPad? And the mother says, no, you have to calm down. You know, no, but I want it. You have to wait until it's 2 o'clock. Now it's 12 minutes until 2 o'clock. Now you have to wait. And then I was thinking that we could spend real time with this kid and the passengers on this flight when they are bored. And, you know, like to go in a film where have a dynamic rhythm and face, and all of a sudden, bam, you have to deal with boredom. So you have this kid sitting there and like looking at the, you know, like the safety thing and how putting it away and then asking, so how much have passed? Like, well, now it's 11 minutes and 30 seconds left. And and the goal is to create the biggest walkout in the history of Cannes.
Ok, bueno, nos dice, bueno, Ruben dice que ese tipo de escenas que están planificadas, de hecho, y nos adelanta la que él piensa que puede ser esa escena central en su próximo proyecto, que cree que va a ser muy anticlimática y que es una película que se va a llamar El sistema de entretenimiento se ha caído, que tiene lugar en un vuelo transoceánico de muchas horas, en el que los pasajeros al arrancar el vuelo les informan al poco de estar ahí que no les va a funcionar el sistema de entretenimiento y entonces tienen que enfrentarse al aburrimiento absoluto que ahora no estamos acostumbrados. Y él piensa que filmar ese aburrimiento puede ser la escena central, y hablaba de cómo puede haber momentos en los que, por ejemplo, dos hermanos estén pegándose por un iPad que la madre de alguna manera subasta entre ellos y les dice, no, te quedan 12 minutos todavía hasta que tu hermano lo deje, y cómo el otro puede estar contando los segundos, y que ese momento puede ser uno de los grandes momentos, porque él piensa que también puede ser de los momentos en los que el público de Cannes abandone la sala, y puede ser muy anticlimático, que a él le llama mucho. Me dicen que vamos con la última pregunta de los cines. Last question. Y esta viene, that comes from Mallorca, actually. Raúl Bauza, from Mallorca. ¿Piensa rodar alguna película en España? Okay, so you probably got this, Ruben. Are you thinking of maybe do you have like making a film in Spain in your mind?
But, you know, I've heard about this airport that is outside Madrid that is empty and it's not in use. That is used sometimes as a shooting location for films that is made on an airport. And sorry, now the phone was complete. And I know also in Palma and the airport in Palma, there are some opportunities to shoot on inside airplanes. So there might be that there's possibilities to shoot the next film in Spain. And I mean, there's a lot of Spanish actors that I really, really like and that I have in mind of maybe doing something with. So let's see.
Okay. Nos dice Ruben que bueno, que de hecho pues, del proyecto que nos ha hablado, tiene fichado un aeropuerto abandonado en Madrid que podría servir para esta película que nos ha hablado, y que también entiende que hay oportunidad de poder filmar el interior de los aviones en Mallorca, y que además tiene actores, sí que hay actores españoles que le gustaría trabajar con ellos, así que lo tiene en mente. Y nada, Nacho, te paso para el despedida y cierre, todo tuyo.
So, Ruben, it's been an absolute pleasure. Congratulations on the film, and by extension, anything you did up to this point. Your career is amazing, and muchas gracias a todos los que nos han acompañado desde las salas incontables de España que han tenido el bien de permitirnos expresarnos detrás de esta película maravillosa. Espero que lo hayáis pasado genial y espero que esta iniciativa se repita porque me parece divertidísima. Así que un placer. Thank you so much.
I really would like to talk longer, and but I'm happy to have this little session with you. Thank you so much.
Ok, muy bien. Buenas noches a todos.
Gracias.
Gracias.